The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. It should be for most of you. I hope you're all well. Thank you very much for tuning in on what is fairly short notice. What I'm doing, or what we are doing today, is that we want to try and make sure that you are totally clear, totally and utterly clear on the importance of understanding how you get started in FG Express, the best way to get started, and the dangers of doing it in another way. Now, this is not a business overview call. This is simply really a very quick, I say quick, probably 40 minutes webinar in order to make sure that you understand, first of all, the products that are available. So when you're talking to somebody else, that you can give them the options that are available, but you need to clearly understand the dangers that are associated with them coming in and starting in the wrong way. And not only for them, but the consequences that's going to have on you and your business. And the consequences can be extremely substantial. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars lost for you in your business by doing it the wrong way. Now, the reason we wanted to do this early, Jeremy and I, and we fully understand, please don't feel bad about not understanding it. It's taken us a few days to get our heads around it, but now we do, and with the support of Brad and Marcia and everybody else, it's really very, very important for you to make sure that you get comfortable with explaining how somebody should get started. And it's something you really need to work on over the next couple of days. Because if you don't do this, I can assure you, your business will be possibly half, if not 3/4 smaller than it could actually be. So we're going to take you through that. As I say, it's not a business overview. I can tell you every single Monday, without fail now, unless something happens with Mr. Bly, who is here. Say good evening, Jeremy.
Good evening, and I'm pretty confident you're going to hear me very well today.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm not quite so confident, but I take your word. Yeah, it wouldn't be the same if we could hear you properly. It really wouldn't.
Well, my broadband actually packed up today, Lee. So I got hold of them. Bank. There was a little bit of I'm confident.
Good. Well, I don't know whether that's the internet that's in between, whether that's you, what it is. I don't know. I got a message up just saying actually we were experiencing some poor quality on the line, so no dramas. Okay, I'm just waiting for a few other people just to drop into the room, and we're going to get started. But what I'd like you to do is just accept. Some of you are here, and I know you've only just got into the business, so you're trying to find your feet. As I say, this is not about explaining how all of the payment plans, how all of the bonuses come in. This is simply about working on the fact that you need to go out and do certain things straight away in the business, what your focus needs to be, and what exactly you're going to say to somebody when they say, all right, well, I'm interested to find out a little bit more. What's the best way to get started? And we're going to go right the way through that now, explain this to you. And if you've got any questions, please do ask. It's really important you understand this, because as you start to build your team, you've got to be passing out this very same message to them moving forward. If you don't, then they go off in the wrong direction. And I promise you, it's going to hurt you financially. This pay plan in this company is probably unlike anything we've seen, Jeremy. Would you agree with that?
Without a shadow of a doubt.
And that being the case, what I can assure you is because we're all working together as a team, we're all putting people underneath one another, there is a bonus that's available every single week. The business closes off at 12 midnight Mountain Time. That's an hour the other side, or less than, Pacific Time. So 12 midnight on a Monday, and you get paid on Friday. So I promise you, if you follow what we're going to show you today and you do this in the same way religiously time and time again, and Brad went through this on Monday night on one of his calls, which was excellent, which is where I've pulled some of this information from. I'm going to put Brad's recording into the group so that you can pick it up. And I really would ask you to listen to that. Ignore some of the Americanisms and so on. What I can tell you is I sat and listened to it. I was on a phone at the time, so I couldn't record it, but kindly somebody has recorded it. I think Linda did. Then it really is a fantastic listen for an hour. It really gets the point across of how you can make this thing absolutely enormous as far as money is concerned, or you can struggle with it. So hopefully that gives you some indication what we're going to go through. We're going to get started straight away. And if you could just put a yes in the questions box, a double Y, just to confirm that you can hear me and that you can see my screen. Just making sure that those are coming through. Great. Okay. Ready to go, Mr. Bly?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Here we go then. So, as I said, what I want to try and do is make sure that we all start off on the right foot. None of us are any different. We're all exactly the same. We've just got into FG Express, and let's assume that we're all starting today in the same way. And we've clearly got a very, very simple task that we've got to focus on. Now, what is the right way for you to start? Well, quite simply, your only focus on day one should be 4 people. You want to go out and you want to start sending out your samples to as many people as you can, and you want to be focusing on trying to find 4 people to join your FG Express business. Now, it goes without saying that what you'd like to do is to find 4 people that are into businesses, into networking, because they, of course, are going to give you a great head start. So what I would do is shortlist the 4 best people that you think that this might be a right fit for, and then go after those first, get those in first, and then start to roll on from there. The idea is that everybody does the same thing. You find 4 and then tell Jim to do exactly the same. He goes to find 4, and before you know where you're at, you're away and rolling. Now, that's it. That's stage 1. Very, very simple. Make your short list of your best 4 and go and talk to them, and then we start to obviously replicate the model. Now, how they start is absolutely critical to your business, and this is where, if you get this wrong, it's going to hurt you. So what you need to decide is exactly what it is that you're going to tell them. And there's some simple steps and simple points that you need to explain and get across in a very simple way. You're not trying to sell them on anything. You're simply going to try and explain the different ways that they can come into FG Express and get started. So that's really why we've asked you all here. What we wanted to do was, we're going to be doing a Monday overview call, a business opportunity call, so that you can drive everybody that you're talking to through the various methods that you use to that Monday night call. And I'll come on to that, and Jeremy and I will talk to you about that before we finish. But we're here to really get a good understanding of what you should be saying to people when they've expressed an interest in joining the business. So there are several options to choose from, but we're really only interested in 3. The first one is the 2-pack of power strips. So they come in packs. The 2-pack is $139. You get 30 power strips. And what you also receive is, for somebody coming in and buying a 2-pack, it gives you 100 points in your personal volume, or your cumulative volume, as it says here on the side. We're also interested in the 10-pack, which is the 519 package, the lateral pack, the smallest of the lateral packs, which gives you 150 power strips and 300 points of volume. And the third one is the 30-pack, which is $1,450, 450 power strips, and volume that you get paid on every week. That you get paid on initially within your team bonus of $400. points. Now, that won't mean a great deal to you at the moment, but this is purely all I want you to focus on is those 3 things. Now, of course, there may be people that are going to come in and just initially want to come in and buy a single pack. We don't recommend that's a good idea because they've got none to give away. They are in packs for a reason, and they're packaged as 15s for a reason. So what you need to understand is that if you've got somebody that comes to you and says, look, yeah, great, I'd like to come in and buy some, they want to buy, if they're buying for pain relief or they're buying for improving the appearance of their skin, they're buying enough for their own use. And that means that if assuming a power strip runs for 2 days, 48 hours at its optimum efficiency, then you're looking at 1 pack being able to be supplied to 1 person, 15 strips in a pack, which will last them the month. How on earth are they then, when they have a great experience, going to be able to give any to anybody else? They just simply haven't got any to do that. So even with people that are looking to come in and purchase some product, and of course I understand not everybody's going to do this, but if you get into the mindset of explaining to people that when they come in, they're going to want to try them themselves, and they're going to want, once they've got that great experience, to be able to give some out and share it to other people. Now, they're going to think, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to share it with others if I haven't got any left for myself. So that's the first thing. Secondly, we always want to give out 3 samples. The reason that we want to give out 3 samples is that you don't want to send somebody 1, and then maybe they have somebody else in the family that is also struggling with some pain, and so they haven't got enough to pass out. One person needs 3 samples, and the reason they need 3 is that they want to try these power strips back to back, 48 hours at a time for each one, for a 6-day period. That's 3 samples, 48 hours each, covers 6 days. Now, what you don't want somebody doing is sticking 1 on and then deciding, well, okay, I'm not sure whether I was just having a better day that day or whether or not it was something to do with the power strip. You've also got to understand that everybody responds differently. Some may get results literally within 45 minutes. Others, it might take 48 hours for them to get results. It depends on the ailment. It depends on various circumstances that are obviously causing the issue of pain or the problems with the skin's appearance. But what we do know is if you give them 3 samples, they've got enough to share with somebody else, or if obviously the problem is systemic and quite significant, there's enough then, providing you're giving them instructions, to wear back to back to cover 6 days, and 100% of the people, 100% of the time, will get the benefit and experience the relief or the change within that period. So that's why we give everybody 3 samples. Now, you've got to be selective. You've got to be careful. You don't want to be sending these things out willy-nilly. They're $4 a pop in the most expensive form of buying them. So you've got to think very carefully. Make sure that the people genuinely need them. Not, oh, I'd like to give it a go, just for the hell of it. And you've got to be careful with your family members and friends. They'd all like to do that. But you've got to use these very, very selectively with people that are experiencing significant or considerable pain, if that's the reason they're looking at them. Now, the other reason is with a 2-pack, you are qualified if you come in or they come in. Let's take this that you're actually explaining this to somebody else. They are qualified to receive a $200 bonus, an X-Tribe bonus, monthly. Now, I can tell you that if they come in on a single pack, irrespective of what they do moving forward and irrespective of how good they are in actually then bringing new people into the business, they will only receive $100 on a monthly X-Tribe bonus. So on that basis alone, I would urge everybody to start at 2-pack if they're just in the mode of wanting to put their toe in the water and see where this is going to go. The 4th thing is that if you come in on a 2-pack and you've got your order ship on a 2-pack, which means, in other words, every month you're going to get more samples. The last thing you want to do is run out of samples. You're qualified for a 12% team bonus and not 8%. So you can imagine what's going to happen with this. You know, we're all helping one another. And if you don't understand that at the moment, then you need to be on the call on Monday night. But very simply, what we're doing is that we're able to strategically place our own people as they come in and join us, either as customers or they're coming in to get involved with the business, maybe both customers and somebody that wants to take advantage of the opportunity that's here. They go into a holding tank as they join. And we selectively decide where we're going to place them to help our team members. Now, if somebody's coming in and they've come in on a single pack, they're going to very quickly realise and be a little frustrated with you in not explaining the fact that they could have got a 12% bonus paid every single week on everybody below them. And because you've not explained that to them and suggested that they go for the twin pack as opposed to the single pack, they're now on an 8% bonus. Do you think that guy or that lady is going to be happy that you didn't explain this to them? I don't think so, because I've already had my first bonus through. I think, Jeremy, you've seen some of yours coming through, and I think my team bonus within 48 hours
Yeah.
was something like $180.
Yeah.
I'm just
Which is it was literally within 72 hours of you starting, really.
So what you've got to bear in mind is, and this is really, really important to understand, that as you're recommending, you've got to give people the right advice, the advice of what maybe you're doing, and they're going to follow suit. And you might think, well, okay, so difference of 12% to 8%. Well, I can tell you, yeah, 4% doesn't sound much until you start to look at the number of people that are coming into this business, and they all have to go in below you. Now, admittedly, might be on the right-hand side, might be on the left-hand side, but as we start placing people and you placing people and people above placing people, it starts to get very, very significant indeed. And what we're saying here is, instead of coming in at what is effectively $69 as opposed to $139, it really is a no-brainer. So that's my thought process on the twin pack. Did you have any thoughts on that, Jeremy?
Well, no, I mean exactly the same, and it's quite easy to do when people are saying to you, well, you know, what pack should I start on? I ask them a couple of simple questions. I say, well, first off, what would you rather make 12% commission in a week or 8%? Very simple question. They normally say 12%. I'd say 99 times out of 100 they say 12%. And would you want to earn $100 monthly bonus or $200 monthly bonus? And it really is as simple as that. You know, to then, you know, I gave out for today, for example, my product arrived, and you know, I've sent out 15 samples today. That would have been a whole pack gone, you know. And then if I go and put me back out or whatever, I haven't got any strips for myself. Plus, you know, they're gone day one. And the kind of response we're getting from people as well is that, you know, we need as much. You need when you start, you need as much product as you can possibly get your hands on as well. Anyway, so yeah, it's so simple. Just to.
And I promise you one thing: you're going to get flooded out with people wanting them. You know, when you've got a product that works on everybody, you know, we're seeing testimony after testimony coming in. Trish posted something great in the group this morning about some personal friend of hers that has had just an amazing result, and for months have had major problems. You're going to get inundated. How are you going to pass that out? One pack, single pack, is enough to send out samples to 5 people. That's just not enough. And if you're serious about making money in this business, you've got to get started in the right way. And as I've shown you there, by doing a single rather than a double pack, a twin pack, you're going to lose $100 instantly each month when your X tribe is formed, and you're going to lose 4% on the team bonus. So it just is absolutely a no-brainer, and you hear me saying that a lot through here. So you need to be on a 2-pack. So whatever you do, don't go the other way. I can tell you, I've had probably 20 people join in 48 hours. Not one person has joined on a single pack. Now, I'm not trying to make you feel bad if you're here and you're on a single pack. What I am telling you is that you need to look at how you want to grow this business, because There is an option to upgrade. So I understand for some people that money is tight, but there's ways and means of doing this, and you've got to give yourself a chance. You've got to get off to the right start. And if you don't give yourself a chance to get samples out and let these people come back to you and say, hey, I need some more of that product, you're just really stopping your business from growing on day one. So you've got 30 days
Yeah,
to
but
upgrade.
the other thing, Lee.
Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, the other thing, Lee, is, you know, how many times do you talk to people about business and they say to you, well, they ask for your advice, well, what pack are you on? You know, if you say you're on a single pack, what do you think they're going to buy?
Yeah,
They're
well,
going to buy a
exactly.
single pack.
Yeah.
If you tell them that you tell them you're on a double pack or the 10 pack, they'll ask you reasons why you tell them, and they'll join on a double.
Well, it's a really good point you make, because I'm going to come on to that now with the other pack, because people will follow exactly what you're doing, and I'm going to tell you and everybody here exactly what I'm saying to people and why they're joining. I'm having probably more people join at 519 than I am on a twin pack. So we'll go through that right now. So three options we said at the start, and we covered what they were. There was a twin pack. There was the lateral $519 lateral pack. And then you've got, in addition to that, the lateral pack, which is the $1,450 package, which there are 7 very, very good reasons as to why people should be coming into this business on the lateral packs, not the twin pack, the other 2. And I'm going to go through those 7 reasons, and I would suggest you write these down because it applies to everybody. And I'd love to hear your questions and comments at the end, with, you know, whether you agree, whether you don't agree, and so on. But I'm going to take you through the reasons that Brad Hager, who heads up our group, and we're in great company, guys. We've got some fantastic support from above. I listened to him on Monday night, and I thought, you know, he's absolutely right. Providing you explain this, people, in the right way, if you don't, and they hear about this from somebody else, they're going to come back to you and they're going to be extremely unhappy that you've not told them. Now, I am not somebody sitting here saying to you that everybody has got $519 or $1,450 to put into the business. But I can assure you that if you explain this in the way that we're going to go through, the majority of people will say, right, well, if that's what I'm going to do, because it makes complete sense to do it. So let's take a look at it. First of all, reason number 1, they save money by buying a lateral pack. Now, if you didn't understand that, this is what they save. They save on the 519 pack $130 with free shipping and free samples. So let me just explain that to you in case you're not sure how that works. You're here for the first time. When you order a single pack or a twin pack, you are charged $4.95 for every pack that is sent out to you. With the lateral packs, there is no shipping charge. It's free. So you can do the maths and work out the number of packs. You've got 10 pack in the lateral on the one that we're looking at here. So you can do the maths and understand very quickly where you're saving on the shipping cost. And in addition to that, you're getting additional samples within the price. So if you compare the price that you're paying for a single pack into the number of samples that you get on the lateral pack, the 519, then you'll see where the difference comes from. Now, the 1450 pack is even greater. You're saving $500 with free shipping and samples. So it's the cheapest way to buy them. And, you know, does anybody, bearing in mind the amount of money, $500 is a huge amount of money. You're either going to come in and say, oh yeah, I didn't realize this was going to be as big as it is. And I appreciate you might want to think about that for 30 days as you start to see things grow and grow and grow. But I can promise you that $500 is a lot of money. That soon adds up in any business. And if you're trying to do multiples of single packs and twin packs, you've run out, you order another one, you've run out, you order another one. You're just basically burning money. Now, again, I appreciate not everybody has the means to do that. But if you can, then that's what you need to be looking at. So the second reason, if you come in on a lateral pack, you come in at 25%. You come in at a 2-star ranking. What does that mean? Well, that means that you are entitled to a 25% check match instantly. Okay, well, Appreciate you trying to get your head around this at the moment. What does that mean? Well, let's just say that you come in and you introduce Bob, and Bob goes out and then starts to introduce 5, 6, 7 people. I'm going to show you some examples of that right now. But what you do is you receive, because you've come in at a 2-star rating instantly, you receive 25% from everyone that you personally enroll below you. In other words, whatever Bob earns, let's say he earns $1,000 in week 1, or in 2 weeks if you like, if that's more realistic for you to understand, you are going to receive $250 of Bob's check. That's what check match is. Now, we don't know whether you've got one person coming in bringing 4 people in, or one person coming in bringing 404 people in. But you never know who you're going to get into your team and what they're going to do and how quickly they run with this. But from what I've seen so far, and the number of people that are coming into this business, because it's a real business with a real product that is a global opportunity, still in pre-launch, and the product works 100% of the time on 100% of the people, because that's the science. It can't work differently from one person to another. Then people are joining in their droves. And just think about that. You come in, you make a decision. You don't come in at the twin pack. You're going to pay 519. You're going to get in and you instantly receive 25% from whatever anybody earns below you. And those are on your personal referrals, not team players that are put in there by somebody else. So let me just explain that one more time. You can see here, this is how the matching bonus works. So let's say you're in week 1, there's you at the top, and you've gone out and you've enrolled Jim, and you've enrolled Anne, and you've enrolled Peter. Now Jim's gone out and maybe in his first week has gone out and brought a lot of people in. It happens very, very quickly because, maybe you've got a slight delay for the first week while you're getting some samples out. You've gone to your warm list. You've encouraged those individuals to say, hey, look, don't wait. I can tell you these products work. They're FDA listed, for goodness sake. Of course they work. So don't worry about the product working. That's why the FDA have done all their tests on it. It's listed by them. They work. Just get in, because if you don't, you're going to be further down the pecking order. So you get your warm people in straight away. Now, Jim goes out, earns $1,000, and Anne earns $500, and Peter earns $1,000. Now, that's $2,500 from your personal members in week 1. And if you have come in on the lateral pack at 519 or 1450, you receive 25% check match, which is $625. Week 1, paid weekly. Close of business Monday night is in your account or on your card, processed through on Friday. So very quickly, you can move through the ranks. If you're starting at 2-star, you can then get to 3-star very easily. And at 3-star, you receive 50%. So it's a very dramatic jump. Just think about that, 50% from your personal members. Now, what that means is, let me just drop back to that slide, is that if we're looking at the same numbers there, 2,500, you'd be receiving $1,250 once you're a 3-star rating. So it's really, really important to understand that. And just think about how many Jims and Anns and Petes you're going to have in this business. And you're going to be getting minimum at a 2-star level, 25% of everything they earn. And this is the point you need to understand, because the matching check is huge. So the third option, I said there were 7 reasons. The third reason is that you get free stock options at the moment. And I can tell you that's not going to be around forever and may finish at the global launch in Vegas on the 27th of March. But this is just the bit that makes complete sense. Let me tell you that Forever Green, if you didn't know, are a publicly traded company. They're 10 years old, financially incredibly stable. I know some of you out here have looked at their results over the last 3 years. They all read extremely well, I can tell you that. So for maybe the first time in a long time, we're in a business. It's a well-established company. It's publicly traded, and they are offering free stock options, but only on the 2 lateral packs. So let's take a look at $519 pack that you come in on. You get 1,000 stock options. Now, what does that mean? Well, I can tell you what that means is that if we go back maybe a year, the share price was under a dime. But that probably doesn't mean a lot of you, but it was very, very cheap, around about 10 cents. Now today, I can tell you that the share value is around $1.60. Now, quickly do the maths. If you've got a stock option, and I'll explain to you how you get that, of 1,000 shares just for coming in on the 519 pack, that's $1,600 of stock once you've actually taken that option. Let me just think about that again. Did I say that right, Jimmy? You pay 519, you get a stock option for 1,000 shares that are currently worth $1,600. In other words, you're making money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
just thought I might have got
absolutely.
that wrong.
And there's only one way these shares are going. No, and there's only one way these shares are going, mate, and that's up.
Oh, it is. And I mean, we're not brokers, as Brad said on Monday. All we can say to you is that what is anticipated. And the talk is with the thousands of people that are joining this business, and there's over 20,000 members already. They're joining at a rate of about that every month now, looking at the daily numbers coming in. This business is going up and up. You look at the company's turnover. They're turning over, I believe, in excess of $3 million currently, and that's changing day by day. These shares are going to go through the roof. And, being very, very conservative, and I can't quote you on what the share price is going to be, but it's expected and talked about at the moment that these shares will be worth around at least $20 within the next 12 months. Do the maths on that. For 519, you could have $20,000 worth of shares given to you. I mean, that's just insane. And they're not.
We got to be careful, Lee, because as we're going at the moment, people are going to decide not to join the bit. They're just going to go and buy a load of shares instead.
Well, do you know you can do that? You can go to the company now and say, I want more.
Yeah, absolutely. It's publicly listed, isn't it?
Absolutely. So you can buy shares at $1.60 if you want. I think it's $1.68 at the moment. So, you can do that. So you can start to see here that this is just number three.
Or you could just buy a lateral pack for $519 and get given some.
Free of charge. Now, all you've got to do to exercise your share option, all you've got to do is you've got to hit a 4-star rating within 6 months. That's half a year. And I promise you, everybody that's here can do that. It's very, very straightforward to do. That's effectively building 4 X tribes. Think about that. 4, 8, 12, 16. You build 4 X tribes of 16 people, get them to do the same, and you're home and dry in 6 months. And those shares are yours. Worth today, as we speak, they're not going down, they're going to go up. $1,600. Jeremy, can I ask you, when you decided what pack you were going to come in on, maybe you'd like to tell everybody what pack you came in on and maybe why you came in on that pack?
I came in on that pack because you told me to.
Oh, well, look, for the first time ever, you listened to me.
I came in on the lateral pack. Well, this is the thing that there's all the reasons you've mentioned already. First of all, if you're going to be starting a business, you're going to want to be able to give out samples. You're not going to be able to give out samples if you have anything less than that. Not realistically. The other reason, obviously, was the stock options. For me, it made perfect sense. And the other reason was literally saving money on shipping, and to me, it was a no to have to think about it. It was kind of, purely from a business point of view, it just made total sense.
Yeah, it does. And again, we appreciate it's tight for some people. Money's, maybe tight, but this is, you're going to need a number of samples. That's only giving you 10 packs. That's 150 samples. And I'll use an example in a moment. I won't just sort of jump ahead, but it's a clean cut reason to do it. It's £325 to give yourself effectively $1,600 of stock on today's prices. Now, the 1450 pack, which is the pack I came in on, it gives you 2,000 shares. Now, think about that. 2,000 at 160, that's $3,200 instantly on buying that pack. Now, it's $3,200 of stock options. Yes, we've got to get to 4-star. That's 16 people, 4 X tribes that we get underway and we share and get those people doing the same thing. in 6 months, half a year. And you've then got yourself on today's prices $3,200 of share value. Now that's assuming that in 6 months' time, where is the share price going to be? So it really is important that this is number 3. You need to write this down. You tell that you're going to explain to people, and we'll go through a little role play at the end of this on maybe how that call should be handled. But number 3 is free stock options. As I said earlier on, you hear me say this a lot, it's a no-brainer. If somebody can physically get there and push themselves to the 519 or the 1450 pack, better still, then that's what they need to be doing. And if they want to take the business seriously and they want to get a lot of samples, then of course that's the advice. And I can tell you, people ask you what you're doing. As Jeremy said earlier on, how did you get started, Lee? How did you get started, Jeremy? Well, I did this, and I did this because of, and I'll come on to that point in a moment. You're going to need products to use, sell, show, and demo. So, again, as Jeremy said, if you want to make a success of this business, if you buy a 1 pack or 2 packs, you're very limited to the number of samples that you can give out. You're going to want to use them yourself or give them to maybe the wife or somebody else that's struggling. They've got so many beneficial factors. You can sell them if you want to. You need to have enough stock for somebody to say, look, I don't want to wait for my order to come through. I'm really uncomfortable, or the wife's in a lot of pain. You need some that you can say, I tell you what, I'm going to sell them to you now. There you go. And you need to be carrying them with you wherever you're going. You should be showing them to people, having a pack on hand, stuck in your case or in your jacket, so that you can get that pack out and show them that this is a product that ships anywhere in the world for $4.95. Brad's famous phrase is high speed, low drag. It's just an opportunity where that goes in an envelope, is sent anywhere in the world, already to over 160 countries. And it's so simple for just $4.95. And we know it's going to work for every person that uses it correctly. And of course, demonstrating it, you want to be in a position to slap it on somebody. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, can I just say as well, I mean, I sent out obviously we've been busy since we got back, but I sent a broadcast out to my list yesterday, and I would say that, without sort of blaming anyone, I mean, I've been fairly successful with online marketing and everything else, and normally when I put an offer out to my list, I'll get a decent response anyway. But I have to say that it was a very, very simple email I sent out yesterday. I've had probably 3 or 4 times the response that I would normally get from any kind of broadcast I've got. So again, I would have been absolutely stuffed today if I put my if I had underestimated how many samples and how much product I needed. I would have been absolutely stuffed today if I didn't have enough samples, because of the response that I've got just from one email. One email.
Yeah, and I saw your email, and and not being derogatory, it wasn't anything unusual or different or better than what you normally send out. But what it does tell you is that people respond to this business. It's a real business, real products, FDA listed, carries a lot of weight. It's about to be certified in Europe with a CE mark, which is going through Belgium at the moment. And you've got to get yourself geared up, because I can tell you the sales funnels. We've got a sales funnel that is finished today. And we've got a sales funnel that is going to just explode, because you're going to be driving people to it with, pain relief as the key word. And they're going to go there and they're going to be able to order a free sample pack. Now, who in their right mind is not going to opt in for that? If that's why they're there, because they've seen that word pain relief. Everybody's going to opt in. How are you going to service those people with 15 samples that you've got to give 3 to each person? It's just not going to work. So you've got to try and find a way to get to these lateral packs. Number 5, self-duplication. What do we mean by that? Well, people will ask you when you're talking to them for the very first time, and you say, look, John, I'd like you to take a look at this business because I think it fits with you. You've been very successful in what you've done in other businesses. And I want to just tell you the different ways to get started. And the first thing I'd say to somebody is that I want to just tell you that I started with a $1,450 lateral pack, and I'd like to explain to you why I did that. There's a number of options, so don't think that's it. You can come in with a twin pack. It's only $139 or 519 pack, but I started at $14.50, and let me tell you why. Now, you're going to go into that, and we'll cover that in just a moment. But what they're going to say, okay, well, if you started like that, then maybe there's obviously a very good reason why you've done that. And therefore, I'm going to start like that. And I can tell you probably 50% of the people that you talk to, and I've done exactly that over the last 72 hours, and will say, how did you get started? This is how I did. This is how I got started. I bought the 1450 pack. They just simply copy you. Because if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for them. And of course, I'm going to then support that with these 7 points. So self-duplication is so, so important. Next one, number 6. Jeremy, why don't you take this for us? 75 in 72. What do we mean by that? He's going to sit there scratching his head thinking, I don't know.
I'm thinking, I'm wishing me broadband would go,
Yeah,
would go funny again. That's
to
what
give
I'm
you a
thinking.
clue, and I haven't discussed this with Jeremy, but I've put him in the hot seat. It's 75 samples in 72 hours. Take it away, Mr. Bly.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, okay, that is what you need to be aiming for. And this is, like I say, Upline Brad, he's basically said that's the first thing you need to be doing, is you need to be getting out 75 samples within 72 hours. So 75 samples is 25 people, 3 samples per person, and that's what you need to be aiming for. So I think the reason, I don't think Lee was being nasty, I think the reason he's asked me to take it over because I have got some views as well in regards to how you manage these people and how you get the best out of obviously sending out samples. What you don't want to be doing, guys, you don't want to be sending out a load of samples and then not following them up properly, and all you're going to actually be doing is just wasting product. So it's really, really important to first of all make sure that you actually send in the samples out to the right people, and secondly to make sure that you, once you've sent the samples up, you actually follow them up in a professional and timely fashion. So let's say 25 people now have the product, 100% of the people, 100% of the time, but let's say 25% success. That's 6 new people in your business. If they came in on a twin pack, $222 that week plus your check match. So don't forget, guys, that you're actually going to be getting, obviously when they come in, you're going to be getting a fast start bonus, which actually works out at $25 per person, and you're also going to get a check match as well on that. So what you really need to do, you need to look at sending out samples as actually a money-making part of the business. See it as a marketing plan, see it as a marketing cost, but you need to make sure that you get exactly the right return on that cost. Now, I'm a numbers guy. Anybody who knows me knows that I have to have my numbers, and I've actually sat there today. I've actually gone out. I've got all of my envelopes that I need. I've got all of my postage that I need. I've got my sandwich bags to put them in, and because I haven't got the sample packs yet, which I've heard they're only for the US, but a couple of people from the UK have ordered them, so we should be able to get little sample bags as well that you can put free in. So at the moment, I'm adding lib, and I'm sending it out, but I know exactly the cost of every time I send out a sample. And I can tell you what my cost is I've actually got it down to 96 pence per person in the UK. It's going to cost a little bit more, obviously, if you're shipping them abroad, but you need to know your numbers. So again, this is, if you haven't got a lateral pack, how on earth are you going to be doing 75 in 72? There's just absolutely no way that you're going to be able to do it.
It's virtually,
I understand, obviously, people
impossible to do it. But you're
right.
Is,
yeah. I mean, the other thing as well, I mean, if you're going to have to, what you don't want to be doing is you don't want to be running out of samples after a few days, and then you've got to go and get some more. You've got to wait for them to be shipped to you, and you're going to be waiting, the good part of a week to get, because you're going to lose momentum in the business. And anybody who knows anything about any kind of network marketing or any kind of business at all, you have to build momentum. And once you've got momentum, the last thing you want to do is to stand still. You need to keep going with it, and Again, very, very important that you actually can do that. And what is that? Well, 25 people, you could say it could be 5 a day for 5, if you can't quite, if you've got lots of other commitments and you can't quite do the 75 and 72, just get the 75 samples out as quickly as you possibly can, whether it takes you a week, but make sure you've got that and you aim to get them out to people.
And I think, there's some of you sitting there, and this is something I want to address, because, we've all been involved in these rev share businesses where you cross your heart and hope everything's going to be all right. And people have been complaining. This is a real business. If you don't want to work in this business, then either get out or don't get in the first place. When I first looked at the product, I thought, well, do I really want to get into something that, I've got to send out some samples? And clearly, we're not talking about sending out, fulfilling people's orders. We're talking about just sending some samples. And we've got a product here that is that good. It's unique. It's the only product in the world of its type that's been FDA listed, about to be listed in Europe. And there's nothing else in the world that can touch it. It works on everybody, as it says on screen, 100% of the people, 100% of the time. So why would you not want to flood everybody that you can with your samples? And if the worst that I've got to deal with is putting 3 samples in an envelope and sticking them in a post each day to generate a massive residual income on a monthly basis that we know is in a real company that's financially stable, that's not going anywhere, that can't be closed down by an outside third party, this is where we need to be. And it's so simple, because you don't have to be a guru in marketing or internet savvy or MLM experts or networking, call it what you may. All you've got to do is find people that are struggling. We all know that. A friend of a friend, they've got pain. Just stick this where it hurts, and then I'll give you a call in 48 hours to see how you're getting on. That's it. It's very, very simple to do. And the figures here, the second point I wanted to make is Jeremy said about Fast Start. The $222 there is made up from your Fast Start bonus, assuming that people are coming in on a twin pack, and your team bonus, which is 12% on maybe 6 people that have just got started just on the twin pack. But if they come in and they start on the lateral packs, as we're explaining here that they should be doing, look at the difference in 1 week. 666 as opposed to 222. Now, yes, don't quote me on those figures exactly, because you get paid a team bonus of 12% on your shorter leg, but I've assumed that they're all on one leg to do these numbers. But it's 3 times as much. So for explaining these 7 points to people and telling them this is what you've done and this is why they need to do it, then they start to understand very, very clearly why they should be on a lateral pack and not on a twin or single pack. Now, the 7th point is whale food. And I thought this was a great analogy that Brad used on Monday. If we're in this business, we're in this business to grow it and grow it as swiftly as we can, and obviously get people involved. I said making a short list of the 4 best people. But you've got to go out there and you've got to go fishing, and you don't know who you're going to get. We're going to use advertising and marketing. I promise you, the advertising strategies that we've already set out for this business go far beyond some that we've used elsewhere in other businesses. We're going to be having everything thrown at 2 independent sales funnels, and you are going to be fishing with trawlers. And what I can say to you is you need some whale food. And the whale food is not minnows, as Brad said on Monday. You're going to need something that's going to satisfy a whale. And if you've got a single pack or a twin pack, how are you going to get one of these whales interested? And by a whale, I mean somebody that is going to just make this business explode. One person can make your life in this business. Just one person. Now, on saying that, I'm going to qualify myself by saying you need 2, but one big hitter, one person that's in networking, etc. And it's amazing how you come across these people. I know we've got somebody in our Skype group, and I won't mention any names now, that started. He's got somebody flying in. He's not a networker. He's not a multi-level marketing guy. He wanted to get into this because it's a real business. And he happened to come across somebody that he was talking to, didn't realize that they were a great and big player in network marketing with hundreds of people below them. And they're being flown in to Utah next week to meet the company. That option was there for anybody that had any people that really could set things on fire. But you need some whale food. You need enough packs and power strips to give to somebody like that. They're not going to want 1 or 2, 3 that you're going to send to them in the post and say, well, there you go. They want to pass it out to 50, 100 people straight away. Now, how are you going to do that initially? Now, all right, they can order it, they can come in on their lateral pack, but they're going to have to wait 7 to 10 days for that pack to arrive, depending on where they are in the world. You've got to dip your hand in your box and say, right, I value what you do. I'm going to send you 1 pack or 2 pack to get you up and running. How can you do that if you've only got 1 pack yourself? You can't. So again, I'm not trying to beat you over the head. What I'm trying to say is you've really got to get yourself geared up, because this thing is going to happen very quickly and you're going to get caught out. So you've got to have some whale food, and that looks a little bit like this. Hopefully the herring and not the seal, but I don't know. I'll leave you to work that out. Anyway, that gives you an idea. So just to recap, let's just flick back through the slides very quickly. I didn't put them all on one list in case you didn't write them down. We'll just flick back to point 1, which is they save money. Okay, it's cheaper because there's free postage and they're getting free samples in both the lateral pack. That you get a check match 25% instantly by coming in on either of the lateral packs. That is a colossal amount of money through the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th week. Just think about that. If it takes you 5 weeks to get to a 2-star rating, which means you've had to build 2 X tribes, 8 people who then have gone out and got other people in themselves, and it's taken you 5, 6 weeks to do that, you've lost all that money, 25% of everybody that is earning below you. Just think about that. Okay. 3, the stock options. We told you about those. I mean, that's just a complete no-brainer. 1,000 stock options with the 519 and 2,000 with the 1450. You've then got products to use, sell, show, and demo. So we've covered that. Self-duplication. This is how I got started, Bob. And these are the reasons why I did that. And I just want you to be aware that those are the reasons, and why if you're taking this business seriously, you should be doing exactly the same thing. You want to get out, if you can, 75 samples. That's only 25 people. That sounds a lot, but it isn't. 25 people in 72 hours. Okay, so very rapid, 3 days to find 25 people that you want to send samples to. And as we said, we covered through those. And finally, number 7, you're looking at whale food. We talked about that. You need enough to catch the big fish. Jeremy, any thoughts on any of that before I...
Can I just say as well, Lee? Yeah. I think there's just something we need to mention to the guys. When you buy the lateral pack, the only downside, if you can call it a downside, it didn't really bother me too much, but I just want you guys to be aware of it so it's not a nasty surprise. Because of obviously coming in from the US, you do have to pay an import VAT on it. Now, the single and the double packs, it's not a problem because they come in a very small envelope and they're within the requirements. And you might notice that when you order a double pack, you have to pay 2 lots of postage. And that's for that very reason. If you do order a lateral pack or higher, you will have to pay an import VAT and a clearance fee. Mine, I've got the receipt here, it came to £23.52, but it's still, you're still saving a lot of money on the actual postage and packaging and the fact that you're buying it in higher quantity. But I just want everyone to be aware of that, because otherwise, I don't want people saying, "Oh, you didn't tell us this," and, So that's obviously I learned through experience on this, and I know a couple of other people have done that as well. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, good point. Thanks, Jeremy, for that. What I just want to quickly touch on before we go on to maybe just running a call through, and I'll take you through maybe how, we'll see who wants to put their hand up and get involved in just a bit of fun and a quick role play on here. But with an X tribe, to build your first X tribe, and we've already covered that if you come in with a twin pack, you must do that, because if you build your first X tribe within 4 weeks, you receive a $200 bonus, providing you're on a twin pack. If you don't and you're on a single pack, you will only receive $100, which is going to really suck when you get 4 people and they're up and running. Now, the other thing I want to mention to you, which you've got to do the numbers on, and this, Jeremy talked about doing his numbers, is that to get your X Tribe bonus, you need 1,000 points. Now, for each twin pack, if I just put a 2 there, which means a twin pack, you're going to receive 100 points. I really wish there was an easier way of writing these things, but bear with me. So just think about that. You're going to put 4 people in, and if they all only come in on a twin pack, that's 400 points, and you need 1,000 to get your X tribe sorted. So it's going to be hard work, and for you to get, I think, I can't remember the term that Brad used, but if you want to get this thing to explode, it's going to be a long road if all you're doing is bringing people in on single packs and twin packs. If you bought them in, let's say on the 519 pack each, look at the difference in the numbers. It's 300, 300, 300, and 300. Now, I'm not saying every single one.
Lee, sorry, Lee, can I just say that you can only have a maximum of 100 per person towards your CV anyway. So if they do come in at a lateral pack and they get 300 CV, you can only have 100 of it towards your X tribe.
Yeah, thanks. But what you need to do and realise is obviously as those move through and your numbers start to come in from the people that are joining, and obviously you've got to bear in mind that you're getting paid a fast start bonus, which is where I was going with that, Jeremy, on here, which is you've got 300 and 300. You receive 25% if you're on a lateral pack of that 300. Sorry, in total on here. Sorry, let me get that right. You receive 25% for your team bonus on here of that weekly. So you've bought 4 people in
absolutely
at 300 because they've all come in on the 519 in case this is confusing you. You've had 519 pack here. He's given you 300 points from that 519 pack and you receive 25% of that. That's $75 that comes in and contributed. So if, let's say, for example, you have a team bonus that pays you 12%, okay, and you're going to get 12% of that 300 here. Your fast start is based on the 25% of the 300. So your team bonus is 12% of the 300. If I put team bonus here, and your fast start is 25% of the 300, which is $75. I just hate this pen thing, but it's my finger that's doing it. So in other words, from one person, you receive $75 and you've also received 12% in the team bonus, providing you're in at least on a twin pack yourself. If that isn't totally clear, we're going to go back through this on Monday as well, so you can take a detailed look when we do the business overview. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going
I think the other thing as well. Yeah, sorry, Lee, the other thing as well, if you bring Jim in on a single pack, what's he going to go and sell? And Lee's absolutely right. It's just going to take you, 3 or 4 times longer to get to that extra bonus.
So let's just let me just see if we'll see who wants to put their hand up and maybe come on and do a call. I can unmute you if you've got a microphone, etc. And what I'm more than happy to do. If not, Jeremy and I'll do it, or Jeremy will do it, whatever it is. But is there anybody that would like to come on and maybe just go through this, and we can just kind of touch base on maybe how to approach that, which we're more than happy to do. And obviously we're happy.
Not all at once, guys. Don't all put your hands up at once.
No, look at that. The hands don't seem to be going out. I said to Jeremy before, I bet nobody wants to come on and do a call. Which
I wonder if it's a technical glitch, Lee.
It's amazing how that happens, Jeremy, when you talk about a role play and then they go, I'm not so sure I want to do that. That sounds a bit uncomfortable. I'm just looking through the list here in case anybody obviously has put their hand up and said, yeah, look at that. They don't want to do it. I think everybody's suddenly lost connection, Jeremy. Funny how that goes. All right. Well, why don't you and I run through a call? I'm more than happy to do that. So let me just see. Sure. Before we do that, we'll wrap up with that. Let's just have a quick look in case there was anything specifically that I hadn't made clear as I go through. If you want to start at the bottom, Jeremy, and work up, I'll start at the top. Steve says, "Can you tell me?"
We're just going to do some questions now.
Yeah, I'm gonna, and then we'll drop in and we'll finish with a call. Steve says, "Can you tell me the importance in getting it before the launch?" Then Steve, yeah, absolutely. Here's the importance before getting in before the call. I don't think the stock options will be available in the lateral packs at all after the launch. It may even be pulled sooner than that. That's what we're hearing down the grapevine at the moment. So, I would say do whatever you can. And bear in mind, I'm not expecting everybody to have $519. You can come in and start on a twin pack for $139. Start to share this with other people. I did that for 48 hours and I've had $1,000 going into my bank on Friday. That's how you do it. You just simply go out, share this with a few people. They get a great result. They then want, obviously, to buy the product. They're in your business. You're earning money. And suddenly you use that money to upgrade to the pack where you want to be and get your share allocation. Let's have a look. Not quite sure what Keith was referring to, trying to read his in sections. Okay, I think he's trying to be funny. That makes a change for Keith Lambert. That's all good. Just going right the way back to the top. Bear with us, guys, while we're going through this. And Steve says, what do points make? Don't say prizes. LOL. Okay. Any packs that you then run on, what you'd simply want to do with any of these packs, guys, a good point that's been raised here is just make sure that you buy your initial package and then you leave your auto ship monthly on a twin pack. All that's doing is replacing some of the stock that you've gone through. And the other point I wanted to make here is remember, for the first time, you're in a business. This is real stock. I was talking to somebody yesterday and I said, look, you've got to understand that you're not sticking some money in some rev share program and hoping to God it's going to work. What you're actually doing is, with your package, you're buying stock. Now, if you don't use that stock and decide at the very worst case scenario this isn't for you, and I don't think that's going to happen for 1 minute, you just get rid of the stock to other people. So you can just, it's really not an issue. You're actually investing in stock. It's yours, and there's no reason, therefore, not to do it and to make sure that you've got plenty. Let's just keep going down. If you can afford it, join with a lateral pack, says Paul Chapman. I join with a 30 pack, $14.50, and I need the samples for my team to get going from day one. I've already sent out 45 strips of samples. Well, there's a classic example of what we're saying. Thanks, Paul. Let's have a look. It says, with the lateral 519, do I have to pay 519 each month? No, as I've said, you just get in with that package, get yourself plenty of samples, and then you have your auto ship. Marilyn said, tell us what the email was then, Jeremy, please. I think Marilyn wants to know, maybe you'd forward that or post it in the group, Jeremy, with a swipe copy of the email you sent out yesterday.
Yeah, I'll probably, I'll post it. Yeah, I'll post it in the group. It weren't anything too clever, but I'll post it in the group. And if you want to use it, I had a result from it, so feel free to.
Okay, great. There you are. We'll share and share alike. This is a team game, guys. So anything we can do to help you. Question here, will your sales funnel give the person an option to request a free sample and another option to join the business? Yes, absolutely. We're doing 2 sales funnels. I'll give you a glimpse of those at the end. One is ready today. So we'll start rolling out tomorrow. And that will be for free samples, first of all. So you'll be able to just send people to that. They'll simply click and say, yes, I want some. You'll get their name, address, telephone number, email address. They have to give you all of the information, and including telling you what the ailment is. And then they'll be taken to a thank you page that will explain the business opportunity. Very, very pleased with the outcome of that sales funnel. And I think it's probably going to give us the biggest and fastest response we've ever seen. Laurie says, where were the numbers?
Lynn said, sorry, mate. Lynn Edwards, hi, Lynn. Please clarify what Jeremy said. We're only getting 100 on each of the 4 people, as opposed to 300. Yeah, my bad, really. I should have let Lee was talking about the team bonus. I should have let him finish, really, rather than rudely interrupting him. But with the only basically, if somebody comes on a lateral package, they are 300 CV, so it's 300 CV points. However, so that's for the team bonus and your fast starts and everything else. However, on the X Tribe bonus, everybody that comes in will only, no matter what package they come in, will only give you a maximum of 100 points towards the 1,000 you need to hit your X Tribe bonus. So hopefully that is clear. There is 300 CV for a lateral pack. However, with the X Tribe bonus and only the X Tribe bonus, the most anybody in that X Tribe can be worth to you is 100 points.
Yeah, let's make that sure that's clear. We're talking about the one bonus, the only one bonus out of the 5 that's paid once a month. Not talking about any of the other bonuses. The X-Tribe bonus, which if you come in on a twin pack or above, is $200 paid monthly. The only relevance to that is that each person that joins you as a personal gives you 100 points towards your 1,000. So in other words, you need 10 people, not that you've necessarily got, but that you've bought in for who've then gone out and got, some themselves. So it happens very quickly. I can assure you of that. So the rest of it is all based around the pack they come in on. So if it is a 300 point pack, which is the 519 lateral pack, then you're getting paid your 12% team bonus on that, and you're getting paid 25% fast start on the 300 as well. Let's keep going down. How long do the packs take to reach England? Well, about 7, possibly 10 days, worst case scenario. I think in the main they've been coming through within about the week or just outside. So that gives you an idea. Gunter says, is there an option to upgrade from the
He
twin
don't
pack?
even live in England.
Yeah, no. Is there an option to upgrade now, and how does it work? Yeah, absolutely. 30 days option to upgrade, and I really would urge everybody to focus on getting to that 519, because if you don't within 30 days, you've lost that stock option. Now, that is one hell of a lot of money to walk away from. So that would be the goal I would suggest everybody needs to be focused on achieving. Sorry, I couldn't help but laugh. I'm reading the questions down, and Laurie's put, and the bit that I can read in the questions, it says, if you are feeling bra. I'm not feeling bra. And then I read underneath, it says, if you are feeling brave. So I'm not sure what
He's put his hand up for the role play then, Lee.
Clearly, yeah. Obviously, Laurie wants in. I think Laurie's actually got under a bit of time pressure today. How long do you have to upgrade from my twin pack to the larger packs? I've covered that, 30 days. So if I come in 500 pack and do not have to the 500 packs monthly. No, you don't. You're not committed to the 500 monthly. Please be clear on that. You just only select a twin pack for your monthly shipment. Twin pack at $130 or $139, $130 actually to be precise. That's 2 packs of product going out at $65 and 2 lots of shipping at $4.95. So $130 going out each month, and your $200 X-Tribe bonus coming in each month. So your $70 to take the missus out for dinner every single month for life. Okay, let's keep going down very quickly because I want to get through to this call. I don't want to keep you longer than necessary. Upgrading to 519 in 30 days to get stock options. Is that what you said, Lee? Yes, it's exactly what I said, Sandy. You need to get to a lateral pack as quickly as you can. I don't control when they're going to pull these stock options, and they will be pulling them. This was done as an incentive. This is why thousands and thousands of people are joining this business every single week. So you need to get that done as quickly as you can. Oh, Laurie says plane delayed. That's good. He's got plenty of time, Jeremy. So he definitely wants to come on a call.
Good.
And the last question, this might sound stupid, but how much do we sell a pack of 10 plus 3? A pack of 10. Confused. There's 15 in a pack. So you get 15 power strips in a pack. So you need, you can decide what you want to sell them for, but I wouldn't overcharge people. You know what you've paid for them, depending on which size pack you've bought them in. But a standard single pack to somebody is going to be, if they come in for the first time, I personally wouldn't sell any. And let me tell you why. If you sell them from your stock, you're losing your stock. And secondly, you're not allowing somebody to get into your business. So if you give them the power strips directly from your stock, then what is not happening is that person's not coming into your business, going onto your own website, ordering what they need, paying $12 for the annual membership. There is a membership. They can't just come in and order product. It's like Costco. You've got to be a member for $12 to come in and buy. And of course, whatever they buy counts towards your personal volume. So if they come in and buy a twin pack, that's 100 points you've just lost, and $25 fast start bonus instantly because you've sold them from your stock. So I just wouldn't do that if I were you. Plus, you're having to replace your stock, which means you might need to order some more and pay the shipping to get it to you rather than them ordering it. And you don't want to be doing that. I mean, you imagine if you're sending out stock to people all day as well. That's a logistical nightmare. What you want to be doing is just giving out samples and then getting people to order direct from your own personal website and then have it shipped directly from the company to them.
And the other thing as well, if you do that, and sorry, if you do that and they buy direct off you, how do you know that they're going to like it? They might go somewhere else next time. They might actually go like the power strip so much they might actually go and join somebody else's business and become a major distributor. So again, just clearly wouldn't do it.
Yeah, agreed. Good question that somebody's asked. You might know the answer to this because I don't. And I've always said if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. Gunter has asked, when upgrading to a lateral pack, do I pay the full price or the difference between the two?
Yeah, well, my understanding is that you would pay the full price, because if you think about it, you would have already bought a single or a double pack, which would already be winging its way to you. So you'll still be getting that single or double pack. They'll still be sending you out that product. So it would be actually counted as a completely separate order.
Yeah, and I would agree with that entirely, because this is not, it's not like joining a company and just coming in and securing a position. You're getting product for the money. So the pack would have already been gone to you.
Yeah, you will not just buying smoke.
Correct. Yeah, you're getting real product. It's already shipped. It's on its way to you very quickly. They want to get that out instantly. So it's not an upgrade and difference between the two. Otherwise, you'll be getting a whole load of new product free of charge coming through. So it will be charged in addition. Okay, so I see nobody's put their hands up to do the call. I'm just going to check that that's the case. So why don't we take this through, Jeremy?
Well, I think Laurie put his hand up and he said his plane's been delayed. So up to you, Lee. I don't mind doing it.
Well, I don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable with this. We'll take a role of somebody maybe looking to come into the business for the first time. I don't mind which you want me to do, Jeremy. If you want me to do the person in the business, more than happy to do that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that. I'll be the awkward customer.
Yeah, well, let's try not to be too awkward because it's supposed to be productive for people listening. But anyway, we'll try and roll this through as best as we can. And if you've got a question and you're not sure that I've given you satisfaction, let's just play it naturally. No problem with that. So here we go. Ring, 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 ring. Hi, Jeremy. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Good.
Yeah, I'm glad I got hold of you. I saw your advert. I saw an advert for these power patch thingies.
Well, yeah.
How do they work?
I saw your inquiry come through, so thanks very much for first of all your interest in obviously both the business and the power strips. There's a lot I can tell you. What I'd like to do is, can you just give me a little bit of information about what you've done? Because I understand you've been quite successful in the businesses that you've been in previously. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in some other businesses. To be honest, I've kind of been kicked about by the industry a little bit. I've been in some businesses that haven't quite worked and haven't quite done what they said. But I think the thing I liked about this is it looks like a real product, and I think it's something. I know a lot of family and friends that suffer with acute pain and everything else. So I think it's something I could probably do pretty well in.
Great. Well, I think hopefully from the information, and I know you've been through the sales funnel and you've therefore seen all the information given to you by Dr. Salcedo and so on. So I'm assuming that you're completely comfortable now with the product, what it does, and it works on 100% of people 100% of the time. I mean, that's a huge claim. And of course, it's an FDA Class 1 listed medical device in the US. And I know you're in Europe. It's soon to be going through in Belgium and CE certified as a medical device there as well. So quite unique, nothing else like it in the world. And to know that you can simply send these people out and send these power strips out and tell people to stick it where it hurts. It's a great thing to be able to say and know that they're going to come flooding back to you. So I presume that you're comfortable with what the product does and how it works.
Well, I kind of am. I think one of the things I did want to do is I was going I really like to try the product before I buy it. Really, I'd like to. Is there any way I could try the product?
Well, of course there is, and I'm more than happy to get 3 samples on its way to you. But what I would say to you is that first of all, I mean, I did 7 testimonials, personal testimonials, before flying and meeting this company. I want to do some serious due diligence and make sure that it did exactly what it said on the tin. And I think the only way I could do that was to get it out to people I knew personally that was struggling with all sorts of ailments. And though I don't want to dwell too long on this because we could be here all day with this call talking about the product and how it works, what I can tell you is I had 100% reaction back very positively from those 7 test cases. Every single one of them, and that included people with arthritic conditions, from COPD to cancer sufferers and so on, all that were experiencing pain. And every single one of those I actually got back from Utah. And my wife gave me messages from 6 of those 7 telling me that they all wanted to get hold of me to order some more power strips. Now, what I would say to you is it's an FDA listed product. It's a class 1 medical device, and therefore the testing has been done. The FDA will not give anything like that type of listing unless it does exactly what it says. And I would go as far as to say to you that if you suddenly found it didn't do what I'm indicating to you that it would do, I would simply more than happily take the product off of your hands. The important thing that I really wanted to try and explain is the different ways that you could get involved in the business. And assuming, if I could, that you accepted that the product was as good as I'm claiming, I presume that you would probably like to get involved. Would that be a fair assumption?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not here to waste your time. It is something I'm definitely interested in, and I think I came on this call thinking I really don't want to do anything until I see some products. But I feel obviously pleased that you've obviously done your due diligence and everything else. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure yet of whether I want to do it without samples, but yeah, I'm interested, very interested.
Well, that's up to you entirely, and I'll get some pot samples in the post to you today. And if you feel more comfortable in that, obviously more than happy. What I can tell you is there are thousands of people joining. There were over 20,000 members as of last week already in the business. The company's shipping into 160 countries. The science behind the product means it has to work 100% of the time on everybody. So, it isn't something that works differently on one person, it does the other. But what I'd like to do is just tell you the ways that you can get started, because knowing that you've been successful in businesses that you've been in yourself, what I want to do is try and make sure that you would get off, if you did decide to join, and get off on the right foot and start in the best way. So let me tell you how I approached it. There are 3 ways that you can come in, and 3 ways that fundamentally would work for you. Now, there is a consumer option, something that if somebody was just looking because they've got some pain and they want enough product themselves to get in and be delivered to them initially, what we call the consumer pack, there's an option to come in at as little as $139, which gives you a twin pack of 30 power strips to get you up and running. But I started on the top pack. I started with a package of 415. 1,450. It's what they call a lateral pack. Now, I can tell you the reasons that I did that, and there's 7 very good reasons. The first one is I hate wasting money. I don't know what you're like, Jeremy, but what I don't want to do is, if there's a way of me being able to avoid shipping costs and things like that, I don't want to pay for things that I'm not actually getting. So by coming in on one of the lateral packs, and there are 2 of them, I came in on the 1450, but there's also a 519 pack. It meant that I was able to save a significant amount of money on shipping costs, and at the same time got a whole load of extra power strips free of charge. So that's really number 1. Would that interest you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't. At the end of the day, I want to obviously make sure that I get the right start and that I've got enough tools to be able to spread the word.
Yeah, well, you're going to find that you're going to be inundated with people that want these samples. So, it's important to make sure that you get enough. But there's several other reasons, and I'll keep running through these because I think they're really important for you to understand. And if you decide, of course, that you just want to put your toe in the water and the 139 option, is where you'd like to go, I fully understand that. But for somebody of your caliber, and obviously being successful in the other businesses that you've had, I really think it's the lateral packs of where you want to be. The second reason I decided to do the biggest of the lot was that the company pays a 25% check match. Now, are you familiar with check match bonuses?
Well, yeah, one of the businesses I'm in, they actually do a check match, and it's probably my biggest source of income with that company.
Well, you understand it, so I don't need to go into too much detail. But in this business, it's huge. It means that anybody that I personally enroll into FGX, and I've personally bought them into the business. Whatever they earn themselves in a week or a month, but it's paid weekly, I receive instantly, because I'm on a lateral pack of either $519 of product or $14.50. I receive 25% of that. Now, I don't know how many people you're planning on bringing into this business initially, but it doesn't take very many, as I'm sure you can appreciate, to suddenly for that amount to mount up.
No, absolutely.
Now, excuse me, the alternative, of course, is that you can gradually get to a point where you've got a certain ranking where you're entitled to that 25%, but it might take you 6, 7, 8 weeks to get there. But coming in with a lateral pack, you get 25% as a check match instantly. So that for me was huge, because I can see the potential in this business with so many people joining, and I know plenty of people that could do with the benefit of the power strips, that I realized that I needed to get that 25% check match from day one. The third thing, which again was enormous for me, is currently, and it's not going to be here for long, and I don't want that to sound like a sales pitch, but it is being withdrawn by the company ahead of their global launch, is that they're issuing stock options with both lateral packs.
Right, so it's a publicly listed company, is it?
It is a publicly listed company. Yeah, it's publicly traded. Their stock value at the moment, going back a year, was probably no more than a dime. Now is $1.60, and it's predicted, and please don't quote me on this, but it's anticipated that the share value will be within the year of somewhere probably no less than $20. Now, by me coming in on the 1450 lateral pack, it gave me a stock option of 2,000 shares. So I know you're a man of numbers. If you do those numbers very quickly, even at today's prices of $1.65, that's $3,200 just at today's prices. And Jeremy, this stock is not going to go down in value.
Right. Okay. And so you obviously have to achieve. Do you have to achieve something, or do they just automatically give you these stocks?
Yeah, very simply, you need to achieve a 4-star rank, and within a 6-month period. That's half a year. So you and somebody obviously with your experience would be able to do that very, very easily. But even for anybody that is coming in, because I'm sure you'll want to pass this information on to other people, it's very straightforward. A 4-star ranking is simply building 4X tribes. And I know you would have seen the video on that, having gone through the sales funnel. But in other words, finding 4 people who then go out and do the same thing, and you do that 4 times over in 6 months. Providing you've done that, then that stock allocation is yours.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Okay. The fourth point is that you're of course going to need plenty of product to be able to use yourself, within your family, etc., to sell if you wish to. Although I tend not to sell too much of my product, because I like to make sure that people go to my website to order it and have it shipped directly. To show, obviously, I carry some with me wherever I go, to be able to show people that you can send that packet out anywhere in the world for just $4.95. And of course, wherever possible, if somebody's very uncomfortable, I'll physically put one on and demonstrate it immediately, because I then know it's working for them straight away. So having enough product, and of course, if you came in on a twin pack, you've only got 30, excuse me, 30 power strips. That's not very many, given the fact that we want to send 3 to every single person. So that's 10 people and you're out of stock. So that was really a very large part of why I wanted to make sure I've got enough stock for myself.
Yep, no, makes sense to me.
Have you fallen asleep, Jeremy? Maybe I'm boring you.
No, it makes perfect sense to me.
Oh, that's great. I just thought I could hear you typing. Obviously, you lost some interest there somewhere. But anyway,
I was just answering a question.
Let me move on. From the other thing that really, of course, and I'm sure you would have found this in other businesses, that if somebody asks you, and they're bound to, how did you get started? And you said, well, I got started on a twin pack. What do you think they're likely to do?
Well, they're probably likely to go for a twin pack, or sometimes they go, they say, well, if you've gone, they sometimes even go lower. So, I understand, obviously, that people generally, the people you bring into the business are kind of governed by what you've done. So, no,
Well,
I
they do.
understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people will follow naturally your lead, and if you've explained these points and you've explained that that's why you started, these very good reasons, more often than not, they'll do exactly the same as you. The other thing we try and do with our team, and this is very much a team game. We get to be able to help you when you get into this business by placing our own new members directly underneath you, of which you get a feed of 12% bonus, team bonus every single week. Now, the reason that we do that, and the reason that we try and get samples out very quickly, and we try, the numbers we work to around trying to get 75 samples out within 72 hours. Now, that might sound a lot, but that's only samples to 25 people in 3 days. Now, if you look at the numbers, even if you only got a 25% return, it meant within 3-4 days, you've got 6 new people joining your business. So if you haven't got enough samples to do that, you're not going to be able to generate those numbers coming in. So that was kind of another reason why I wanted to make sure I got plenty of stock and went for the 1450 pack.
Yep, cool.
Okay, and finally, I mean, the last reason was the fact that I don't know about you in other businesses, but I've been in several businesses before, and you come across people that really are going to set the world alight. You don't meet many of those in FG Express. But of course, if you've got somebody that comes in that's a big networker or has been in MLM for some time and has a large downline of people he works with on a daily basis, it's no good sending them 3 samples. They're going to want to be in a position to share it with their team as quickly as possible. No, I'm not expecting you to pass all your free samples to the whole of their team. You're going to want to send out a couple of packs to these individuals to get them running and get them off to a very quick start initially. It's what we call whale food. So, I'm sure you've experienced something like that before, where you've got a great guy involved in your business and he's suddenly gone out and it's exploded.
Absolutely.
Good. You sound enthralled, but I'm sure I'm going to be able to enlighten your enthusiasm some way. So let me just recap. Your options are to come in. You've got the twin pack, which you can come in at 139, but it's only going to give you 30 power strips. Or obviously, on the basis of what I've told you so far, the 519 option or the 1450. What would you say is probably the most important factor to you personally out of the 7 items that I've sort of indicated?
Well, I mean, I think the minute you said, I think you had me at check match. I've got some people, I've got an idea that will come in. I've also got some people that I know are not network marketers, but will be very comfortable with the product and be happy to share the product as well. So I think obviously the check match was a big thing for me, and I didn't really know about the stocks, but that just consolidates everything really. It's just kind of, I'm really now not sure whether I want to go for the 519 or the 1450. I think I'd love to go for the 1450, but I think I'm a little bit stretched at the moment. I've got another company that owe me a lot of money, so I think I'd probably start on the 519. Have I still got the option to come in on the 519 and upgrade within a certain amount of time if I could get the money to do the whole hog?
Yes, you have. But what I would say to you is that effectively, you're if you can in any way, shape, or form do the 1450 now, be it on a card, etc., I'd recommend you do that. I thought of exactly that. Shall I come in at 519 and then upgrade? The problem is that you're going to be buying the 1450 pack on top of. So you're going to spend 519, and the only way you can upgrade within 30 days is to go to the 1450. But that's 1450 in addition to the 519. So it doesn't really make a great deal of sense. Yes, you could do that, but ultimately, what I would say to you is, if you're going to come in at the 1450 as I've done. I think you take this business very seriously. Clearly, you're here to grow this, and you're going to get through the samples in no time at all. That would be my recommendation, but you've got to be comfortable in what you want to do.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I did have some money put aside for an Apple Mac, because I kept going on these webinars and people couldn't hear me properly. But I found out today that it was actually my broadband. So I guess I could actually use the money that I was going to spend on the Apple Mac and go all in.
Well,
so,
what I can tell you,
can
Jeremy,
I have your link?
You'll get undivided support from me from a point of view of helping you build your team. We have weekly calls going out to just obviously support all of the team members. And as I said earlier on, this is very much a team game. But apologies for my phone going off in the background. But had I known that I had you at check match rather than I love you, I wouldn't have really gone into the other points, the other 5 points that I had. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you my link now. I'm going to stay on the phone with you because I think sometimes it's a little bit confusing on how you go through the sign up process. If you've got 5 minutes, the link's now in the Skype chat just below. If you'd like to click on that, I'll take you through the process now, just in case you get stuck and you're not sure on what to send on auto ship, etc. Would that work for you?
Yeah, that would. That would. I really can't wait to get started.
Fantastic. Well, let's do that now, and as I say, we'll get you started and up and running immediately. So that's
Lovely.
pretty much
Thanks,
it,
Lee.
guys. I mean, it's not word perfect. The scenario really is that everybody's going to have their own way to do that. You're going to be able to explain it very comfortably. It's not about sales pat or anything like that. It's just simply about making sure that you get those 7 points off. Even if you just want to say to somebody, look, there are 7 reasons why you should think about doing the 519. If you decide not to, that's fine. Got no problem with that at all. But let me tell you what they are, because I'd hate for you to come back to me in 2 months' time and say, hey, why the hell didn't you tell me? I could have bought some stock or been given some stock free of charge within my package, because I would have done that. And I'm really frustrated with you for the fact that you didn't tell me. That's the last place you want to be. So find your own route to getting comfortable with it. But make sure those 7 points you put across. There's ways for everybody to start. And if it's financially driven, then that's what's right for them. But I can assure you that certainly from my experiences, the majority of people, once you've explained those 7 points, will make a different decision than you thought they were going to make when you first started talking to them. Hopefully that's been useful. What I will go on to say is just very quickly, Jeremy, do you just want to just touch on, and we're dragging on in time, so we'll be brief, but do you just want to mention about the sample system?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that you're not just burning through your samples and that you get the right kind of return for the effort you're going to put in. There's a couple of things really, just really basic. I mean, I use a diary system. So basically, what I'm doing when I'm sending the samples out, I'm putting everybody in my diary, and I'm actually diarising to actually give them a call. Now, I would recommend probably give them a call after 3 days. You can give them a call as soon as 2 days, because even if they haven't yet put the samples on the power strips on, you can actually just say to them, you could just say, look, just wanted to make sure you got them, and just to recommend that you put them just above, where you can, just put them just above where the pain is, and then just let them know that you're going to follow up with them in the next couple of days. And I think that's quite important. If they know that you're going to follow up, they're more likely to get out and use the strips. The last thing you want is that you want to be sending out these samples and people just put them in their medicine cabinets and they sit there for 6 weeks, because it's just going to be a waste of your time, your resources, and your money. And you really need to be on top of these people, almost to the point you've got to treat these power strips like pieces of gold, almost to the point, and you can do it in a very polite way. If somebody hasn't used the strips after a certain time, ask them to send them back to you. Just say, look, I've got a really big demand for this product. I've got a lot of people that are in pain and really want to try these samples. So if you're not going to use them, would you be kind enough to send them back to me? What do you think they're going to do? Hopefully, well, they're either going to send them back to you, or they're going to actually make sure that they actually get it used. And if it isn't on them, they're going to use it on a friend or family member. So you can use a diary system, or you can put a spreadsheet together just so you can track everything. But every single sample you send out, you need to be monitoring it, monitoring the progress, and working out exactly how much money you're making from sending out the samples. Just treat sending out the samples just like any other marketing activity where you need to track costs and you need to track revenue as well. The other thing as well that I'd recommend you do is send out the samples. Don't go and send the samples out in the morning. Make sure it's the last thing you do, just to catch the post at the end of the day, because you could go off to the post office. A lot of this is common sense stuff, and I don't want to teach you guys to suck eggs, but you could go and send them all out 10 o'clock in the morning. You could speak to another 3 or 4 people that day that are really interested. So what you want to be doing is you want to make sure that you set yourself a goal every morning to be calling people, chasing people up, and send all of your samples out first class at the end of the day. You know, how impressive is that? If you speak to somebody at 2 o'clock and by 9, 10 o'clock the following morning they've got their power strips, they're going to know that you're serious about your business. And they're going to be very, very impressed with that as well. So it's more common sense stuff. I might put together a little spreadsheet and post it in the group, something that you can use as a template to kind of track, obviously, your sample system. So that's pretty much it, Lee, in a nutshell. If anybody got any more questions on that, they can contact me.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. Yeah, I mean, with regards to sales funnels, just moving on very quickly. This is the first one that you can see on the screen. We're going to be focused on driving traffic for pain relief through to these. This, I believe, is going to work extremely well because they're free samples that are going to be given away. So you've got to bear in mind we don't want to start off with too many, but at the same time, we want to make sure we're out there testing the funnel and getting it through. But I just believe that the results that we're going to get and the numbers of people, why wouldn't they want free samples being sent to them? But as Jeremy said, you've got to manage those. They'll get a full presentation from Dr. Adam Salcedo explaining how they work in the body. And I defy anybody to see that happening and then not to go ahead and order some free samples by clicking the button at the bottom. That's going to take them through to another page. This page is now finished. There's now a form on this page for people to fill in all their personal details: name, address, email, telephone number, where they live, what their ailment is, and so on. The minute they click submit, you get an email saying, please send these samples out to this individual. And at the same time, the person that has just filled in the form is then taken straight through to another page with a video that is just thanking them for ordering their samples and then explaining how they can actually get them ongoing for free by getting involved and joining the business. Very, very simple. There's a series of emails then that follow this. There's 10 behind this one. Just telling them their samples are maybe 3-4 days away and just giving them a little bit more information about the product together with careful day-by-day instructions on what they need to do when the product comes through. So they're looking for the email tomorrow to find out what the next important instruction is, number 2, so that they have an interest in looking for your emails as they come through. That's all fully automated and is going to be available for you from tomorrow onwards. That's it, guys. We've kept you long enough. I'm sorry it's gone on longer than we'd hoped, but I hope this has been useful. And what I really must emphasize is that you've got to be getting your team to be doing the same things as you are and going through those 7 key points. Otherwise, you can imagine that if they're going out and telling everybody to get a single pack, your business is probably going to be a third, if not just 20% of the size that it should be. A couple of quick questions at the end. Marilyn said, where are strips affixed for facial blemishes? You cut them into smaller pieces, Marilyn. Be careful around the eyes, which can be quite sensitive, and adhere those on those areas. So for acne or spider veins, things like that, then that's how you work with those. And bear in mind, it is an FDA listed product for the improvement of the appearance of skin. Lee, if someone has, I can hardly talk anymore. I'm not quite sure. I have what's that? Neuralgia. Okay. Not understanding what on earth that is, but thank you, Sandy, for that. When we'll be able to get our hands on the funnel pages? Ryan, as I've just said, hopefully I'll answer that. It will be available from tomorrow onwards. I think that's it, my friend. Okay. No idea what that is, Sandy. Let's talk about it afterwards. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Let me just recap for you what's going to be going on. We've put all of Brad Hager's team calls and the days and times that they're on. So please don't say you don't know what's going on. It's your responsibility to be plugged in. There are calls every single day, 2 or 3 times a day. So no reason why you and your team cannot be on those. Jeremy and myself, together with others, will be doing a webinar every Monday at 12 noon PST, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. UK, 9 Central European Time, which will be a business overview, a complete presentation of the business model, how they earn money, what the product does, every single Monday. But please don't wait for that. Get people on the sizzle calls that Brad's doing every single day. They're working extremely hard to help you. It is a team game. Why are they doing that? Why are they spending hours doing that? Because it helps you to grow your business, which helps them. So make sure you get on those calls. That's all I think from me.
And they don't need to, Lee. You know. Yeah, no, just really, you've got to really kind of plug into what Brad's doing and get on them scissor calls. And like Lee says, they're working very hard to bring these to us every day. And the thing that they don't need to, they've grown their business now is going to be growing on a daily basis. They don't have to do this, but they want to help us, and they want to help us get the success that they're getting. So make sure that you utilize all of the resources available, because this is a great business. And if you don't get fully behind this, you're going to be kicking yourself in a few months' time.
My final point to you is that whoever you are on this call, and I'm not going to discriminate between any of you, if you want to earn 10 grand a month, this is the first business I can say to you without being an expert in marketing or anything else, you can easily do that. And I promise you that. You've just got to copy what everybody else is doing. Send the power strip out, stick it where it hurts, ring them in 48, 72 hours and speak to them. That's it. Done. It's so simple to do. That's all you've got to do. You duplicate, you get four, that gets four, that gets four. Before you know where you're at, you're on 2.5 grand a week, every single week, and growing, because those four get more for, and so it goes on. It's so simple. Just duplicate it, and you can easily be at those sort of numbers. We're looking at way beyond that, but bare minimum, that's where you should be, and we'll help you do it. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Look forward to speaking to you very soon.
Take care.